Hey everybody! Now, have you broken a bone in your life? Maybe one, maybe two. I haven't broken any. Maybe you haven't broken any bones, but breaking a bone is a really scary prospect, right? Especially when you're cycling. And if you do it, I imagine that you go, I'm probably not going to do that same thing again, or I'm going to protect myself, or I'm too scared to get back on the bike or whatever. Well, I've got somebody here with me who has broken 32 bones in his mountain biking and motorbiking career. This is Nathan.
Hello everybody. Thank you for having me on again.
Thank you for being on the show. Actually, he has been on the show once before. We raced up this really steep...
and I won.
I like how you just threw that in. Yeah. And I'm going to bring this up right now actually. Yeah, as a loser, I'm supposed to do an ice bath, and I still haven't done it, and Nathan keeps reminding me of that. So
in a pink bikini too, so just remember that for a future episode. So now we've reconnected, I'll make sure we loop around and get that for the audience to make sure she does it.
Do I have to wear a pink bikini?
You said it, so yeah.
Right, now that's about you. Let's go back to
the broken bones.
Yeah, the broken bones.
Yeah.
So you've broken 32 bones.
Give or take, yes, unfortunately. Like I was saying previously before we started recording, it's not necessarily something to, I guess, brag about, but it is the unfortunate truth of what I do and the sports that I've decided to take on. And just one of those guys, unfortunately, that ends up with the broken bones. Some guys get away with it their whole career without breaking one or two bones, and other guys, break just about every bone in their body. So, it's just one of those things that you accept that that's part of it and just get on with it, pretty much.
So you've done that as doing motorbiking?
Motorbikes as well as downhill mountain biking as well, gravity mountain biking,
Yeah, downhill mountain biking, and you do racing. So is there one that you broke more bones on than the other, or is it?
There actually was a really long period there when I started downhill from motorbikes where I thought, oh beauty, I've sort of found a niche here where I won't be breaking bones, and I think it was about a week later I broke my scapula on the mountain bike, and then it just became a run of things after that over the years. So I reckon probably a little bit more on the motorbike, but it's pretty much even, I would say. I think someone just broke a bone now.
What are you talking? We might have got that on camera. Is that okay? Are you okay? You're okay. It's okay.
Good?
It's okay. Give the camera a thumbs up. Yeah.
Right. Still got your kneecaps, you're right.
That was very timely.
That was timely.
And so, what bones have you broken?
All right. I was thinking of this last night actually, and I'll probably forget a few, but going from, I guess, bottom to top. So I've done my feet, multiple bones in my feet, done my ankles, done knees, I've done my ribs, both sides on multiple occasions. I've done my collarbones on multiple occasions. I've done my scapula on multiple occasions. Done my wrists on multiple occasions. Done my scaphoids, which is another one, which is essentially wrist, I suppose. Fingers, they all add up.
So you break and then re-break the same bones, like with your wrists and things like that? Is it the same?
Yeah.
So it's maybe weaker? So that's what makes it more
in some
susceptible?
sense they can get weaker, but a lot of the time, like the collarbones, weirdly enough, end up becoming stronger. Because the way mine have healed, because they didn't plate them back then, they just grew on top of each other. So I'll show you in a minute. You can actually touch the end of the broken bone. But yeah, they end up calcifying over and actually becoming a thicker bone. But in some cases, like your wrists and things like that, they become weaker. But with a lot of rehab and that, I've got to be fair, I'm getting older and my career's getting somewhat near the end. But with a lot more rehab and physio, and I still feel like I'm still as fit and somewhat flexible as I was back in the 20s. So I don't think it's hindered me that much, but you've really got to look after yourself afterwards, otherwise it just doesn't happen. You just seize up. So for me, I can't stop moving. If I stop exercising and doing things, I just start to calcify pretty much.
So for the rest of your life, you just have to keep moving.
I just got to keep moving, keep everything limber, and otherwise it will catch up. Yeah.
And so how long does rehab take? Because you're an active person, you're on your bike, you fall off, you break something, and then how long does it take? I mean, that's how long is this piece of string maybe, but
I mean, for example, I'll show you again my knee, how that happened as well. That was probably my longest recovery. That was about 10 months before I actually started putting weight back on it, and then obviously the rehab and the physio, and then eventually back onto the bike sort of 18 months later. Whereas collarbones 4 to 6 weeks depending on how fast you heal. A lot of the stuff where I've had casts and that, which was a very big no-no, but there's actually a study that's come out this week that says it's best not to rest when you've got essentially broken bones. So I was always one for cutting a cast off and actually getting it moving while it was healing. So come the 6 weeks, I actually was strong enough or had some kind of strength to get straight back into it, rather than, you know, you take a cast off and you waste it away and then you've got to start rehab. So, you know, I was always known as the one that cut off the cast or refused to have a cast on and just put a splint on, but there was a reason for it, and I'm glad now that it's actually coming out that, you know, that's something that they're looking at.
So you've actually helped yourself by doing that. Yeah. Going through the rehab, like, that's a long, like 18 months. So 18 months.
Yeah, that was a long one.
Yeah, like how do you get through that? You're an active person. How do you get yourself through that?
It's frustrating. I mean, I've been a competitor and someone that's always out there moving around, wants to be out at the races and competing. You know, when you can't put weight on your leg for 10 months and then you've got the rehab afterwards, it's sort of, I'll probably shortcut a bit of the rehab, which is a bit of a no-no, but after I just said to do it properly, but yeah, I just got pretty much straight back on the bike and started cycling up and down roads and getting it stronger that way, and you know, still did some of the gym rehab and all that, but yeah, I'm probably doing better rehab now in the gym.
And so when you do break a bone, does it really hurt?
Yeah, it sucks. There's nothing nice about it, I can tell you that much.
Do you just go, oh no, I've done it again?
Yeah, I was only telling someone about this the other day actually, because they hadn't broken bones and they were asking me a similar question, and I said it's my last one probably 2 years ago. I did my elbow, my wrist and my ribs. I was actually coughing up blood that time, so we thought we had some pretty bad stuff going on. And that was a big hit, but I hadn't had an injury for a long time. And I was saying to someone the other day, because I've done so much, I kind of know when I'm broken, and obviously I knew then, but it was like an old friend kind of rocks up again that you don't want at your door. It might sound weird, but I just knew, coughing up blood, and I was laying there and I'm like, oh, winded and hurting, and I'm like, oh, there you are, I don't miss you, that kind of thing. It's like an old, so you've got to catch up. It sounds weird, but you just know that you're broken and it's going to be a bit of a recovery. You know, I've been in the hospital before, a day after, with a broken wrist, and go in there and say my wrist's broken. They go, no, it's not. So I'm telling you it's broken. And it's not until they do the x-ray and stuff, they go, yeah, it's broken, we better put a plaster on it. You know, obviously it wasn't a big Z in it, but yeah.
You know your body.
Yeah, but you just get a feeling straight away now, which is, I don't know if it's good or a bad thing. Probably a bad thing because I've had so many, but...
So how do you ride? Like, say you're doing your downhill mountain bike and you're racing and you're going really fast. I mean, because that's amazing, and people like, there's trees, you're going downhill, there's rocks and all of that. Yeah. How do you overcome the fear? Like, how, you know, you must have a fear of breaking bones, and how do you overcome, like, do you have that?
It didn't necessarily bother me for a lot of years. It was actually after I did my knee, that was probably the one that, and that wasn't a big crash. I don't know why that played with me psychologically to get to a point where I was back up to where I was beforehand. But generally I'm just that keen and passionate that I just want to get back out there, and when you're actually riding down and doing your thing and you feel the flow that you used to feel, like, there's just nothing like it. It's like its own drug, really. So that desire overcomes the fear. To feel that. Definitely. And that feeling of riding and getting to the bottom, and like, wow, this is, you know, that adrenaline rush or whatever it is, you know, dopamine rush or...
That's why we ride, isn't it?
That's right. Cheating, you know, death or whatever.
Has it made you a better rider, do you think?
From the injuries? It has now that I'm getting older. Yeah, definitely. That one I just said then was an unfortunate one. I had a brake issue at the time, which we found out afterwards. So that was kind of the front end just grabbed and then spat me over, and I hip and shoulder a rock and come to a dead stop from moving. So yeah, obviously the force went through my body, but yeah, outside of that, I've definitely become a smarter rider, and not necessarily not caring so much about the results, so you're putting things at risk, but just making sure you've got everything right, you know. But yeah, it's taken me a long time. You know, I won't say what my age is, but it's taken me a long time to do it, and now I feel like I'm at a stage now I'm riding a lot smarter, and, you know, probably some of the fastest riding I've been doing my whole career, to be honest. Yeah.
I was going to say that. Has it actually slowed you down or sped you up because you've become smarter from it? You've learned a lot, and you've actually, has it actually sped you up in a way? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. No, it definitely has. Yeah, it's smooth. Like, my riding style is smoothed out, and just the way I do things, and it's more calculated. You know, don't win races laying on the ground, as they say. So it took me a while to work that out. And actually go with it.
To me, it's brave to get it back out there and to keep riding. It's very brave. Like, there's got to be something in
not
here.
Right.
Something not right.
I get asked a lot, do you take your brain out when you leave and then put it back in when you get home, or?
But you keep yourself going. You know,
yeah.
you get yourself back up, you get yourself through the recovery, and you go, I'm not going to let that stop me.
Yeah, I'm just getting cheated up talking about it. It's good. I just want to go for a ride or pinch your bike in a minute.
Stay on the bike.
Yeah.
What is your broken, you're going to
the collarbone here. So, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's a point just there, if you can touch the end of it.
That, yeah,
See
right.
the end of it?
Yeah, that's like, it just...
That's the end of the bone, so it snapped and then it healed like that.
So it's pointing up
So you're
rather
touching
than...
the pointy bit there.
And it still works okay, like...
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
No impingement or anything like that, so yeah. So both are like that. They're both healed like that, and then another one broke both sides there, and yeah, it's a bit of a mess, but
yeah,
they work.
And what about your knee? You said you were going to show me something.
My knee, yeah. I don't know if the camera can see that or not, but...
You can stand up and show you.
Did my PCL.
Oh, you've got a big scar there. Yeah.
So the top tip of the bone fell off broke off the tibia and took the PCL with it. And then they ended up attaching the bone back on with like pretty much a 60mm deck screw through the back of my leg, and let's put it all back together, so that's there forever now. And then lost some skin on my elbow, so...
Oh, look at your elbow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, hang on, touch my thigh there. That's actually my thigh.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's
a skin graft from here.
They chopped some of your thigh, and have you got like a gap
No,
with
you can't
it?
really see it, but got a patch there.
So they chopped it out of there and put it
Yeah, they
on
pretty
there.
much cut it like a slice of cheese. Well, they did cut it like a slice of cheese, and then they run it through some kind of machine, and then they slapped it over there. So that was actually a motorbike injury, so that was top gear and coming off and landing on my elbow at the time. And then, yeah, whatever happened there, rock ran down and then just pulled a chunk out, and so it was either on someone's bike or a fox had a good feed that night, but it was out there, so, yeah. So,
isn't it amazing though what can be done to heal you and recover you? Yeah. Like you can be patched back up and off you go again.
And to be fair, the leg hurt more so after the surgery than the arm, not that shaving, because apparently they take the nerve endings and stuff off too, so that was actually quite bad. But.
And you're all padded up when you're riding, like you have the full face helmet and all of that. Like, yeah. Did you ever ride without as much padding initially? Like, okay, and then after that you're like, right.
Yeah. The funny story is that morning I said to my mate who always wore arm pads, I said, oh, you're such and such for wearing arm pads. And that day I went and lost half an arm on the track, so a bit of karma on my part there. But yeah, now as I'm getting older too, like I've tried, because I smashed myself up there for a period through my 20s or whatever, I ended up wearing a full suit, like top suit, and it just found it restrictive. It was almost becoming unsafe in its own right. So it's sort of like, where's the level of safety versus being able to move and do your sport properly at the level we want to do it to. So now I wear the 100% vest now, which is basically the main thing I wear, apart from obviously the knee guards and elbow guards. But yeah, outside of that, I don't wear the full armour thing, it's just too restrictive. But I sort of cover the vitals and go from there. And yeah, obviously a nice expensive helmet that protects my head.
Yeah, and that's for both the moto and the mountain biking. It's similar.
Same style of helmet, the full face helmet, but they're different, made differently for both of them. But yeah, it's only a little dot now, but back I don't know, a while ago, hip and shouldered a pine tree, and the broken off stick bit went into my arm, probably up to here, and took the jersey with it and then took it out. So it was a clean puncture, but yeah. So when they were cleaning it out, they had to put the syringe up under the skin and flush it right under. Yeah. My sister was there, she nearly fell over and passed out.
Because you had it stick right up.
The pine trees, like out in the plantations and that, So that when they break off, they're almost like little spears. So yeah, just come flying through there, and then lost the front a little bit and hip and shoulder the pine tree, and it went.
Do you have a favourite?
A favourite scar? It'd be between my knee and my arm. I guess the knee one for me is probably, now that I've got to a point that's strong again and I feel like I'm probably riding smarter and better than I ever have. That's kind of a journey, if you will, and the ups and downs after having it and whatever. This one's got a good story to it with, fed a fox that night, out on the track somewhere. I mean, you look back to it, like I got lots of photos I was looking through the other day too, and going through trophies and old photos, and it's nostalgic feeling, and then not so nostalgic when you're looking at the injuries you've had. But yeah, it's been good. I wouldn't change it. I love it too much, and I'll never stop. I'll be riding in some form forever, I think.
What would you say to other people who are riding or getting into riding, or you see these young kids doing the downhill mountain biking? What's your advice to them?
My advice to the young now would be to get your technique right, spot on first. The speed will come, and do a lot of work on the mental side of racing. Try and get it to a point that the races don't rattle you as much as what you can get, because I do see a lot of it. I was like it too. I'm a victim of that you get inside your own head a bit rattled, and then that affects your riding and focus, and some things like that happen. So definitely technique number one, and then get your headspace right. It doesn't matter what happens, my life's going to be what it is. So if I win and make it wherever, that's great. I'm putting the effort in. If I don't, well, that's not great too. It's not where I want to go, but it's not the end of the world. I'm still living, and there's still another direction for me and other ways to do it. So
you're not attached to the outcome.
no, I'm not
That's
attached to the outcome, and I'm not attached to how people perceive me as that winning racer or whatever. It's more so for me now, and if I don't make it, well, it's on me because I haven't put the right effort in, or I haven't done the right prep, or other guys are just faster. I see a lot of it actually through a lot of racing now. Like, it used to be very much, especially moto days, very much like, people weren't doing things together. It was more so like, them over there, don't talk to them, over here, don't talk to them. But now there's a bit more of a camaraderie around it, and just doesn't seem to have that stigma of, like, if you're not winning races, like, you're a nobody kind of thing. Everyone gets around each other a lot more now, so it's a bit more of a community setup. But yeah, I just don't, I know it sounds weird, I just don't care anymore if the result will be the result, and that's part of the mentality, the mindset thing for the kids. Like, once you put the work in, the result's going to be the result. So just be happy that you're there and you're racing, doing what you love, and just go from top to bottom and put a good time, put a good run together, and then it'll be what it'll be. But if it's not what you want it to be, then go back to work on the stuff that didn't go right. So don't always focus on, I had a great time doing this. Also, you've got to be able to look at the stuff that didn't go right if you want to keep growing and going forward as a rider, and then work on that stuff together, and then it'll all go the right way eventually.
Yeah, so you're reassessing everything and, like, looking at it going, okay, how can I improve? Or you don't just walk away and celebrate and have a beer or whatever.
That's right.
You go,
there's always a room to improve somewhere.
And you do that?
Even more so now. I'll go out training and stuff, and I'll analyse what I've done that day. I'll go back and say, all right, I did this well, that well, what didn't go right, well, this frustrated me, that frustrated me. Like, even something like, I forgot to pack something, or, all right, well, that annoyed me in terms of my headspace for when I got there, or once I found out, so I was already off the mark. So how can I make sure that doesn't happen again? To the checklist, is it getting it ready the night before, or is it, that kind of thing.
So discipline, you're very disciplined, you've got to be disciplined, I like
now.
that. Now you've learned.
I remember Dad years ago, and again, it's not mountain bikes, but the motorbikes, I'd be doing stuff in the back of the van on the way to the race, and he'd be angry, going, why are you doing this bloody night before? This is bullshit. And now I'm very much like that. Like, I have to be ready the night before, or it just throws my whole game off the next day. Like, I want to wake up in the morning, get in the car and go, everything's ready to go. That's the only way you can put your best foot forward, if you're organised and prepared.
So are you going to keep racing? You're going to keep racing motorbikes, not mountain bikes quite as much?
No, I still do mountain bikes, I'm just sort of doing my own program now. So I've wrapped up the grey zone racing at the end of last year. As everybody probably knows, the economy's pretty tight in the cycling industry at the moment, and a lot of factory teams have closed, and obviously we're not at that level, but it affects us too. So it's sort of run its course, and time to do my own program and go back to what I used to do, and I'll be doing that, but I'll also still be out around the cycling community and still racing some gravity events around there, so I will be around still. Yep, good.
About not breaking it, we'll wrap you in bubble wrap, I think.
That's right,
Not breaking any more bones. Touch wood,
get some shares and bubble wrap.
Get some shares and bubble wrap. I'm going to find some wood, we've got to touch wood. There we go, touch wood.
I'll just do this.
Awesome, thank you very much for sharing and being on the show. Any last words you want to say to people who might have broken bones or are afraid to break more bones? I just broke the stick when I said that.
Afraid to break more bones. I mean, if you're doing a sport you've got to accept the fact that something's going to happen. Even riding road cycles, I see some pretty nasty accidents doing that. So I think if you accept that it's going to happen, and if you've never done one before, I guess that's probably the scariest part, because it's not until you've actually done it then you go, okay, now I get it. I mean, it's going to suck either way, but you either ride or you don't ride. We drive cars every day, separated by a 3-inch line, 100 kilometres each way, but we accept the risk, we don't even think about it. So if you're worried about breaking bones, or I guess go slower, but I've broken some multiple bones going slow too. So
okay, so that's not that's not a guarantee.
Yeah, no, it's not. No, accept it. It's inevitable. Hopefully you don't do it, but if you do, just keep going.
I like it. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
No, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at the beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me. No, nothing can break me.